sort of doctor and tell him these problems, and he can help you with the diagnosis. Because it is tricky trying to work out that diagnosis, right? And that's what I worry about. I worry about planting that seed that's going to... I will misdiagnose myself with ADD. I started taking Concerta when I didn't have ADD. I was just in the spectrum. And I had horrible blood pressure and side effects from taking stimulants when I didn't need them. And that's why I don't like to try and push someone, even just the idea that they could be schizophrenic or they could be... have some sort of personality disorder. Now, I know I'm guilty of doing that about Darth, right? But I'm more trying to push that he behaves like a narcissist. But at the end of the day, it's up to a doctor, okay? I've had a psychiatrist say that he could be a narcissist. He does fit the bill, but he'd have to go to a doctor to approve that. So again, we don't know. And that's why I'm really, really careful now. I was saying that. I'm trying to really just bite my tongue and not say anything until that person maybe asks a question. And they can say, well, maybe you can go to this doctor and ask them.
Yeah, so I get all of what you're saying, and I agree. Like, there should be some care you can offer that the way people present the argument, at least in a very serious context, ought to be handled with greater care and concern for whether or not the person might be misdiagnosed, and to clarify things like you're not a doctor, right? If I'm having a serious conversation with somebody and the conversation's going back and forth slowly enough that I can insert that I do, I clarify, like, I don't really know, I'm not giving you a diagnosis, you want to see a professional to be sure. But I'm also trying my best to make sure that when I make light of it, it's for the sake of
You just got to get past it. That's all. That's where the stress comes from.
You want to buy some machines, mechanize the whole thing, and then hire some people to do it for you.
Kids are really cheap if you hire kids.
More hands.
Firms of flat or round or circular.
Seems like it affirms a flat Earth, unless there was some reason people disagreed with it.
I think John's argument was that nothing in it is contradictory to the globe Earth. But he refused to say globe Earth, he kept saying reality. So, I don't know what his hang up on that was.
It's got this thing where, like, you ought to know what I mean, and if you don't, that's on you. You know, it's really annoying.
Oh, poop, I didn't see Jacob's hand up. Can you just... Oh, no, you got up. Okay, good.
Who did?
Nothing.
Yeah, thanks.
I got him. But they're really going to have to do some mental gymnastics to say that there was no verses that imply a flat Earth. Even Uri agreed. Uri was like, because it's kind of challenging when you've got like Uri ostensibly on the same side as John and Matt, because Uri's really much closer to what we're saying than they are. So it's kind of like, I wish, like, it's like, we have to deal with you separately, Uri. You have, like, completely different viewpoints on this. So Uri was saying, he was just agreeing, it's like, yeah, they probably thought the earth was flat when they wrote it. And, you know, he thinks the Bible is basically an account of how men understand God. Which sounds like something an atheist would say. So it just gets very muddled when he tries to defend these crazy, you know, Bible thumpers who think every word's literal.
Matt just said Uri lacks the qualifications to have these conversations.
Yeah, he's a rabbi, Matt. So that's kind of a dumb thing to say. But what I don't like about Uri is that he always tries to be like, none of this matters, you're not having like the real conversation, blah blah blah, right? And I find that a little annoying because it's like, well, this is the conversation we want.
Don't they always like change the definitions of things when you pin them on something that's, when read literally, just sounds really stupid. They just say, oh, it's not a right hand in the sense that you're saying. It's in this other sense.
Yes.
So it's still literal, but it just doesn't mean what we all mean when we use these words.
That was Matt.
Yuri's version. Yeah, I think Yuri's version of Judaism is almost equivalent to like progressive Christianity, right?
Yeah.
You know, where everything is like ultra liberal, you know, non-literal level, everything is a metaphor.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing to debate at that point.
Well, I don't like their idea. Well, I mean, I like it in so much it doesn't seem to harm as many people, but it doesn't make logical sense to me, where it's like, every generation gets to interpret it a new way, and that's the right way now. And then the next generation comes along, and they get to interpret it a different way, and that's the right way. It's like, well, why do you need this original book, then, to be going off of if you can read into it whatever?
Yeah.
This is the age-old, like, how do you know God's intentions argument, basically.
Yeah, but Uri wouldn't even say that. Matt, it's all about the people and how they saw God, not what God was telling them, but what, you know, what they. I mean, he gets very hippie-ish. It's like what they think God is. That's what the book's telling you.
God is love. God is light.
I give it 100 years max. These versions of progressive Christianity and the Judaism of Uri, they're gonna morph into atheism. That's just a little bit, only slightly different from atheism.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be nice if this religious stuff was really? I mean, it already is for a lot of Jews. It's community.
Yeah.
You know, they don't really believe it, and that's fine. And there's no problem with that, because the idea is it's celebrating their histories of people, not necessarily celebrating or commiserating. With Christianity, it's just so much more sort of slavish. It's like they're nothing compared to God, you know.
Yeah, I also don't like this kind of idea that the further and further that we get from native speakers when they are actually saying things, when people were actually walking around knowing what these, with what James talking about, you know, the next generation reinterprets, like the further you get from the actual time that it was spoken, the better we understand it. And that seems fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like he likens it to the Constitution. You know, the lawyers get, well, the judges, I suppose, get to interpret it. The
That's one of the-
Constitution's going to look pretty stupid in like 1,000 years' time.
Well, it already looks stupid.
More than it already does.
One of the founding fathers, I don't remember which one it was like a new one should be written every 20 years. Like that's as long as it's good for, and then you need to write it again because views have changed and values have shifted. I don't remember which one that was. That seemed like a better idea.
It just seems almost impossible to apply it to like modern day dilemmas. You know, like same with the rules about working on the Sabbath. It's like, well, they've got all these complicated get-arounds because they didn't think they would need to when they were just
I
killing the fields or whatever.
I really think that God isn't gonna. He's gonna be like, yeah, okay, that workaround. That's acceptable to use. Turn the oven on the day before.
Exactly. Yeah, it just starts to get silly. They have those elevators in New York.
Run all
automatic. Well, they stop on every floor.
Yeah.
Because you can't
push the
button. And at that point, it's like, come on, man.
We have one of those neighborhoods here that has the rope like up high, like around the neighborhood, and it's like that's like a work-free zone or something.
Well, it's like they're extending their home. There
you go.
Because otherwise, they're extending their home to those ropes so that they could travel. Because otherwise, they wouldn't be able to leave their house. I think is what it was.
Yeah,
I like the one where they can hire non-Jewish people to do the work. And then
send them to hell. That's fine.
The Shabbat Goy.
Just give them some money.
I think they can leave their house, but they just can't engage in all these other tasks and things that
can they drive
in the city.
No,
they have to walk, don't they?
They have to walk. Yeah.
So I'm saying, you can't take a bus. I don't think you can do any of that.
No.
Unless you have this special out here.
Well, yeah, you can't work, but you also can't cause others to work as well.
Well, no, because they hire people. Well, you can't cause another Jewish person to work, is that it?
That's it.
I do think Uri gets rightfully irritated when Christians tell him what's in his text, right? Because like it's like they totally like the Old Testament is obviously fucking the Torah, and it's like their religion. Can you imagine like just being like, oh no, it's ours now, and we're gonna like take it over and call it part of our Bible, and you're wrong about what it means.
Can you imagine if the Muslims did that? Can you imagine if the Muslims did that to the Christians?
Well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, they don't use the New Testament though. They only use parts of the Old Testament.
Oh, I thought I don't know. I thought they took the whole thing and just like rewrote it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can you imagine how mad they'd be if the Muslim came in here and was like, "You're reading it wrong."
But I think they do. Maybe just the Old Testament. Yeah,
I hate the thing that Uri does. I hate the thing he does, which is what the Muslims do, where they go, and then like it goes on for like 10 seconds, and then they just say it in English anyways, where like they could have just skipped the whole, like, bro, don't speak the language. I don't know why you keep saying it in fucking Arabic, right? Why do you do that? Just say it in English. Why do you do that?
Because the magic spells only work in Latin. Like, they only work in Arabic.
Yeah, it's part of the religion. That language is a core part of the religion, like mandatory.
Yeah, you have to say the magic in the Black Tongue of Mordor in order for it to...
almost like that. That's why in other places like Africa, wherever, if you are going to convert to a Muslim, you have to learn to at least recite the things in Arabic.
I can barely hear you, man.
Arabic.
You guys hear him?
Oh, sorry.
That's better.
It's a bit faint. Okay. Closer to the mic. Sorry. So I was just saying, like, anywhere in the world you are, if you are to be a Muslim, you'd have to learn that language. Otherwise, it's not valid. If you're just like reading it in English, you're not a proper Muslim.
Well, the idea is he's saying something to me, right?
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Oh, I see.
If he's saying, hey, there's this thing we have this saying that goes, and just and then they say, which means, like, look before you leap. You should just fucking say, we have a saying that says, look before you leap, right?
But you're missing the poetic of it, the poeticness of it, Tom.
I probably wants to demonstrate to other Muslims that he knows the verse by heart.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about it and, like, why they do that, I can only conclude that they're trying to, like, they're so proud of they're being able to say it, and they're, like, some kind of, like, flex or something. I don't know, but, like, I don't care about that.
Yes, the same way they're slightly different. When they say the prophet, then they say peace be upon him in the other language as well. After every name.
I was listening back to the conversation with Justin and Chloe, and I was surprised, I didn't hear it the first time, that she calls him Justin at home. I was surprised to hear that, because they met after he was converted. So I thought that she would call him Khalil.
From when they were most recently in here, and it turned a shit show?
Yeah,
Is that the time you're listening?
Yeah.
I mean, more and more every day I just see religion as a huge, giant cope.
Cope. Or some of these people, not all of them, just sound legit mentally ill to me.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately.
Like they need therapy.
Like, if they were saying this about aliens, the family would be, like, really concerned about.
I used to say, because I was reading and I was trying to look for, because sometimes when each camp calls the other person deluded, I try to research it, like there's something called DSM, the Manual for Mental Illness, right? So there's a definition of delusion, which keeps changing from version to version of that document. It's like a well-known document from a body that deals with this psychiatric thing. So they had to define delusion. When you read the definition of delusion, it matches religion. And there was an original version, maybe in DSM-4, that had to explicitly exclude religion by some method, by saying, well, if it's believed by too many people, even if it's very, very odd, but too many people believe it, that would then not be counted as a delusion. But otherwise, if you don't focus on how many people believe it and just look at the characteristics of how the stuff doesn't quite match reality, it fits the delusion very, very well. Religion.
I mean, obviously, I'm not talking about all of them. I'm not even talking about, like, Matt and John. I'm talking about the ones who just angrily say things like, you're going to hell, just get really irate and can't argue, can't even track the conversation.
Oh,
I mean, they're just like one step away from like a homeless person screaming at you because they're on drugs or something. I mean, it's literally that bad. And you're just like, who is this? Why are you? I don't. Everyone just, because it's religion and not like fairies or Napoleon or aliens, they're sort of tolerated and treated as if they're not crazy, which I find bizarre.
Class, because they know huge amounts of people can get.
No, sorry, say again, what?
I'm sure we met afterwards. I think you said, because, we met the guy Samuel, who we were
Correct, yes. So I said, so anyhow, so I thought, right, this Gavin's in the same fucking room. So I thought, right, I'm fucking gonna get you on this. So then I started, and I said to him, I said, Gavin, I said, what you said to Samuel, because you said, what's the beginning of everything? What's your ultimate point? And he said, quite honestly, I don't know. I says, you fucking grandstanded yourself as I'm the winner. I says, that's what you did, didn't you? So I didn't say it like that exactly. But you claimed the win, didn't you? He said, yes. I says, at the beginning of your fucking argument, Gavin, you, not anybody else, you said, I am starting this fucking debate from it and going to give an inductive argument that God exists, on the fact that it'll be more probable. I said, now, let's fucking examine that, Gavin. I says, probability. So let's give it a score of 1 to 10. I said, what is certainty? So what would you score it as? He says, well, probably 9.5. I said, no. Certainty. So he said, well, 10, yes. I says, right. You claimed more probable. Now, more probable to me is that it's lacking of a 10. So let's say you call it, 9.5? He says, well, yeah. I says, and if you then looked at the value of 1 as being Samuel saying, well, I don't know, he's not making the claim to know, he's just saying he doesn't know at this point in time. So he might have a level of 1. So what you would say is that you're more probable in that you have a higher level of confidence of it being real than fucking Samuel. Am I right? I said, because you're a 9.5, he's a 1. He says, yes. I said, so if you're a 9.5, you're missing something, aren't you? He said, what do you mean? I said, well, you're not a 10, are you? He says, no. I said, so if you're not a 10, there's an element in there that you don't know, isn't there? He says, yeah. I says, well, are you not the same fucking position as him? I says, but here's this one, Gavin. I says, are you basing your faith on I don't knowism? So he went, and he shut the fuck up. So then fucking Dwayne tried to white knight for him and came in, and then started talking fucking science. So I had a go at him as well, and I thought, right. So what he said is, I've, he got on about abiogenesis. So I said, right, okay, what do you know about abiogenesis? Just simple, easy questions. So he says, well, I says, have you studied it? He says, no. I says, well, what do you know then? He says, well, I've researched it. I says, what material did you use to research it with? I says, did you use studies? He says, yeah. I says, so tell me the distinction now, bearing in mind you've used studies, where your research had come from by using study books. Give me the distinction between the two. And he says, well, it just fucking is, man. It just is like. I says, you see, you're spouting off, you're white knighting for this idiot here by the side of me, then you come in with this other shit. I says, you're talking about abiogenesis. Give me the books that you fucking read. And he couldn't name one. I says, the abiogenesis theory was debunked, in a sense, by Louis Pasteur. Where's the book and where and what time it is? I says, what you're saying, Dwayne, is that you want to toss out all these people who've studied all these things for fucking years, and you say you know it because you've researched the fucking internet, and you can't claim to know anything. You need to stop this. So he says, well, it's easy. I says, oh, it's fucking easy now, is it? And then Gavin kicks me.
Yeah, well, Paul, I do remember the conversation that you had with him. Yeah, I was there, and you're absolutely bang on. And the difference between him saying by an inductive argument this is going to be most probable, you're right, and the certainty. So, and then he immediately, like you said, he basically said, I'm going to prove this is most probable, or show that this is most probable, and immediately then basically claimed certainty. So he's basically said, I'm going to show you it's most probable.
And the both fucking
certain, yeah, and that didn't really demonstrate either, because his inductive argument was falsified anyway by me immediately, P2, when he claimed that the black hole area theorem, which I've talked roughly about, haven't I?
Yeah.
The area increases, not the volume. Gives you the 2D universe, and that where the holographic idea comes from. And he's just gone, and this is now a fact.
I know. So I said, you need to be charitable, what you're saying. I said, there's rationality. I said, do you know so I said to Dwayne, I says, I have a definition of rationality and irrationality. Do you? He says, what are you doing this for? I says, because you fucking started it and just white knighted for him. A rational person is flexible. An irrational person is fixed. tell me I'm wrong.
That's a brilliant definition. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, tell me I'm wrong. I said, so you're fixed right now. I said, so you're being irrational. So fucking stop it. And then he kicks me as I said that, Gavin. I just thought, fucking hell. I thought, you bastard. They don't like it when you actually investigate what they're saying, do they?
Well, bang on. And it seems to me as well as if that's the point at where the difference between real life and the internet is. Because in real life, then probably not going to mess with you or I or anybody else in the way that they will become comedians, deceptive, say anything people.
Yeah.
And they do. The thing that annoyed me most about Gavin is his assertions that atheists don't have any morals. Now, I understand non-believers, less certified, do come up. Non-believers don't hold that what we have, but it doesn't mean that they just don't have something, because, and that's what annoys me about him, it's then again, you're back to this idea where we've got something really special and we are the chosen people.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think that it's for everyone.
So, he's not in my favourite fucking books in Dwayne because he let him kick me. I thought he'd invited me specifically. We were having a conversation. That Gavin entered, he fucking made him a mod, and then the fucker kicked me. And he said, and I put my hand up again. He said, no, we're not letting Bomb back up again. I thought, you fucking know I am, because I pinned the pair of you.
Yeah, that's the other thing they do. Yeah, bang on. But then it switches to bullying. Simple as that. Yeah, not only do I think I'm right, or at least I'm talking on behalf of somebody else. Yeah, so they're not only saying I'm right, they're also saying I'm better, and I've now got enough power to shut you off.
Yeah, because you think about things. Yeah, you think about things.
People into the real world, and you have yourself the. I don't give a shit. I'm going to say it. The Islamic people who are going, the guy do you remember who was going? I can't remember who it was. We want our empire back. People of Judaism, certified. I know you're not one of them. Who will say, we get the temple. We get a part of Jerusalem. Those are the people who are dangerous in the real world.
Of course they are. We know. They both know that, and they pretend they're not, and they come on these platforms. And they're not. I mean, I've chosen not to intervene in them ways because you'll probably get booted up and banned off the server. But, I can't help but fucking think that.
What's annoying me, though, Bon, I don't know if you... Well, anyway, it's because people I consider in my team, my gang, our friends, shut me down. They would rather shut me down and let other people take the win and carry on with the mod abuse and put you down. One thing to put somebody in the audience, I do it. I don't usually put them in the audience and then do the meta of he needs to learn. He needs to calm down. That's to piss you off while you're down there.
Yeah,
that's annoying. And so back to your friend Dwayne, dude. So one of his other claims is that aliens are real. Sorry, actually, let's go for the CIA use psychics to well, yes, they do. We know that, but the point about anything when somebody goes to CIA, I've got aliens at Area 51. It's like if you have a CIA document with stamped CIA that's been come out of the archives after 50 years. There's always the chance, because there's something called psyops, where they're lying, because that's what they do for a living. So you can never really, unless you've got the actual CIA document paper in front of you, you can verify it says J. Edgar Hoover with his signature, that any of it even happened.
When he starts going down that avenue, I just think, I can't fucking bear it. All I do is just stop listening to the silicon, and every now and then I go, yeah. I just think, I'll fuck off and go surfing somewhere else. He just is ridiculous with some stuff. But no, he's lost a fucking friend this morning by allowing that to happen. He can fuck off.
But the thing, yeah, it just feels like to me, some of the people in my gang are going, "Shut up, Divine League," and I know I get angry.
Yeah.
I have every right to say, calm down. Well, not because if they say calm down, I get worse.
No, I wouldn't say calm down to you. I wouldn't say calm down to you. I'll say
It's
right.
always a case where I'm the one who gets thrown out. I'm the one who gets put in the audience. I'm the one who gets muted. I'm not even wrong. I'm only asking something, and I'm getting annoyed that I'm not getting an answer. Then everyone jumps over me, stamps me out. They carry on with what they want to do. whether that's back to your concrete set of discrete particulars and your own set of causal principles or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's just then somebody wants to take that and run off with it. Fine. I'll tell you what. I'll be a biblical literalist.
Yeah.
I'll argue all day long that God said, and you will get bored to death of me.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's like there's no equality in this fucking thing at all. None. Even between the people I think of as friends. They are friends, but I don't trust them. I can't trust my own friends. I can't trust Christian friends. Atheists are just as bad friends because they just come together. Everybody just seems to be going into little sectarian gangs.
It is gangs on here. I mean, I've been on long and I spot them.
When you denied the affirmation of the Christian biblical God as the grounds of our intelligibility, you are affirming the consequences of contradicting yourself.
If I hear humming noise on your microphone again, Neil, I'm going to kick you from the server.
Okay.
Go on, carry on, certified. Yeah, you were practicing, so if when I
you need to put the godless versus Darth calling each other fat. Do that.
Is there a clip of it?
Yeah, there's a clip of it. Just check. Godless girl versus Darth Dawkins calling each other fat.
On YouTube.
It's literally the name of the video.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
I like it. Who posted me the Christmas Darth ones the other day?
Oh, that was me. Yeah. Have you heard that? Sis?
And we're rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and
And shut up, Neil. Shut up, Neil. Did I already make it clear to you not to? Okay, you're God. Now, did I make it clear to to the channel? Neil?
Yeah, I just want to discuss with you this.
Did I tell you not to come back in here or I was going to kick you from the server?
All right. I'm out.
Leave, Neil. You're a bad boy. Leave. He's 36 years old, and he's impulsive like a 14-year-old ADD kid who didn't take his Adderall.
They know what's said about this. Normally I would say I don't even believe them, but I can actually believe he's 36 years old and is that stupid for some reason.
I know, we run across a lot of weird people on the interweb.
Yeah, it's all surface level. That was
Neil, didn't I tell you? Because you were being a jerk. But yeah, sorry, Neil. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was so politics when Darth came.
Wait a second. I'm gonna put a video. Wait a second.
Yeah, you can do it.
God.
So it was when he came back to politics. The first day he was in politics, I went in there and I spoke to him. And he was calm. It was fine. And then he said to me something about.
Look at this. I'm putting it. Sorry.
You go for it. Well, he said causation changes relative to mass speed. speed of causation. So I pulled him on it because it's relativity. So what he's saying is this, yeah. I have two, domino falling onto another one. If I had 4 dominoes, so you've got 2 sets of dominoes just falling one onto the other. They both happen at the same time, and then one of the sets of dominoes, as it's falling, is flying away from me at high speed. It's going to look to me as if it's falling over slower. That means that it looks as if the cause and effect has slowed down relative to where I am. It's got 0 to do with the mass. And he was invoking general relativity and the field effect equation to explain himself. And so I tried to tell him that he's actually incorrect, and he went nuts at me. Yeah, and then Neil went in. Neil's really sweet as well. Funny. Go on, what you got for us then, Certified? Godless Girl. Have you got John Lee as well? Hit it.
He's fucking about trying to load it up. But yeah. I listen. I watch some of these Tom videos, and I listen what he'll say, and I've got the beauty to replay it, and I'll think, what the fuck? Tom? And he just pulls stuff from out of his ass. But because he's running at 100 mile an hour, you can't think quick enough sometimes. And then he won't let you go back to anything. So it's, nobody can fucking win it. You can slow him fucking down.
It's the technicality of being correct about the logical argument of Presup. Yeah. But he doesn't actually really get there, because he's just, you are starting at, you accept his definition of God without him giving you it. So he's starting with that, and then basically once you accept the definition, it just becomes logically necessary. It's the logical necessity once you accept the thing. So it is a fallacy because it's begging the question.
What is? I'm not focusing. Tell me what is begging the question. Tell me.
Right. So if you're going to if you actually want to do this, then you're going to run Presup on me. Then go for it. I will play the atheist. If you want to actually learn how to deliver this argument, you're going to have to either learn to confuse me, like Barth can, or actually Barth can't confuse me anymore, or actually get the argument down properly. So if you're running your Presup argument, you're going to need to give me your definition of God.
The definition of God is the ultimacy, the fundamental which everything depends upon. Aspatial, atemporal, uncaused causer, unchanging changer, supernatural being, a disembodied mind, which instantiates all laws of nature in reality.
Okay, I've got one question. The unchanging changer.
You see, he's lost already because he's asked a question, and that's not how to run the side. What the next part of the do you believe in God, or can finally God does not exist because?
Well,
God does not exist because.
Yeah, I've heard Darth. Yeah, so I heard what you said though. So my challenge is this then. So you need to explain to me then. So
Political philosophy sense, right?
the logical explanation for that, you would have to give me some sort of data, however you want to say it, and give me a synopsis.
You know, I'll just say once again, it's why I call myself an agnostic atheist. And I, you know, maybe I'm putting words in my mouth, but I kind of hear in Robin a little bit of an agnostic theist, which I think is rare. That is to say, somebody who is open to the possibility that they're wrong about the position. In my experience, most atheists, certainly you're an exception, I think Alfonso is another exception, but I won't speak for him. Atheists tend to be of the agnostic variety, that is to say they don't see any evidence, but they certainly don't see any non-evidence. I mean, I look around and I look at the world, everything I see is evidence for God. Everything is, because in fact, as Bart being consistent, I think it was Magnificent that mentioned it earlier, for about a year. I know, Uncle Steve, that you have helped injured people get all the benefits they're entitled to by law. I know, Uncle Steve, that attorneys, people that have been in my line of IRL work, come to me for advice and suggestions, and I give it out freely because karma. I don't charge people for advice. I don't charge people that I represent because it's a no recovery, no fee. I'm not allowed to take money up front.
That, Steve.
Well, I'm answering you, but you are more than welcome to talk after the break, and I do want you to answer after. A dick, unless their first name is Richard. Please continue.
I think his first name was Richard.
Album, 2 hours in the tank. I think we got 2 hours left. Is that correct? If this, then that. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Well, anytime you start a question with if, arguably you're asking a hypothetical. What if? In its most simplistic in its simplistic sense, if I step off the curb, doesn't that mean I could get hit by the bus? Well, the answer is clearly yes. Well, doesn't that hold on, let me finish. Well, gee, Steve, doesn't that contradict the fact that then you step off the curb daily? Well, no, it doesn't, because it's a hypothetical if. So, let me finish, please. I want to hear what you have to say. This is one of the reasons why I do this room, is because I get to talk whenever the heck I want. Now, if I'm not being fair...
I object! Objection, Your Honor!
Yeah, thank you.
Order the court!
If I'm not being fair, if people think that I'm not giving people enough time, and by the way, I think I give people more than enough time. You want Exhibit 1? Bartholomew has been here for 2 hours. Because I want him on stage. Okay? So, anytime you ask a hypothetical, it doesn't automatically mean that you're contradicting something else. Go ahead, Stephen.
The reason why I'm here is my wife's getting two new tires, an oil change, her brakes done, and I rationally did that by going to a respectable, qualified place that does it.
That I asked earlier to Barth, which is that I hear in the argument, someone who may choose not to, then I'm not going to force anybody to engage, but you have up to... Yeah, that was just pathetic. All we got was a lame accusation that I substitute logic with a word salad. He didn't demonstrate in the least. He didn't even make an attempt to show how I spew a word salad as a substitute for logic. Now, the problem is, he said we could be a brain and a that, but then he wanted to talk about the empirical world and how things correlate and are connected to each other. But he's speaking it as though it's true, because if you're a brain and a vat, then those things are just simply imaginary because your brain claim that you could be a brain in a vat, then your statements of empirical endeavors and sense perception aren't necessarily true. Now, I want to ask you a simple question. If indeed you were a brain in a vat, would your sense datum be imaginary? Sequapu, it's up to you whether or not you want to answer or stay on mute.
Yeah, that was one example, but I gave other examples where our sensory apparatus, humans, in this world do not work, and it's
You're not answering the question.
It's demonstrable by science.
You're not answering the question.
I don't necessarily have
This is the number one problem.
No, the number one problem are Christians in the Americas killing all the Indians.
This is my.
I don't like anybody like you because
This is my 5 minutes.
your terrorism kills people.
This is my.
It's been proven. Those are facts.
I was going to get 5 minutes.
Yes, and thank you. And let me just say,
I could use my 5 minutes to ask.
yes, I'm agreeing with you, and I also gave the precursor that if Sequapu didn't want to answer, which he did, but I can't have the two of you talking over each other, which is why I
asked a simple question.
No,
Darth was a diatribe.
I
didn't answer to my question.
And Darth, this is why I muted Sequapu and left you unmuted. And yes, Darth, you've got 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes to use any way you want. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, during my 5 minutes, okay, you don't get a chance to rant. I'm asking a question. You said we could be a brain in a vat. If we were a brain in a vat, would your sense datum be true? All I want is an answer to that question.
And Sequapu, you can stay muted, or you can answer yes or no, or you can stay muted. And Darth, it looks like he's staying muted, so...
No, because again, you come up to the definition of what true is. It's true for me, but people living outside of that, it's not true.
No, when you say it's true for me, it just simply is, I believe it. It's a nonsense statement. Listen carefully, you didn't answer the question. I said, if we were indeed a brain in a vat, you said we could be a brain in a vat. Did you say that?
No, I said you could be a brain in that. You probably are.
No, sir. When you said we. You said we could be a brain in a vat. That's what you said.
No, I didn't say we. I said you.
Oh, okay. So how on what basis do you say that anyone could be a brain in a vat? In your worldview, what is your ultimate reference point to say anything is true? And please focus on my question. What is your ultimate reference point in order to make any declaration that anything is true? Do you have an answer?
It seems like he wants to stay on mute. So, Darth, you've got...
So he doesn't have an answer. So then again, he has no foundation or ultimate reference point. He has no ultimate standard for truth declarations, but he wants to make a series of truth declarations, right? So this is what people do. They shoot their mouths off, they give a community college lecture, then they make accusations that I'm substituting logic for a word salad, but never once does he elucidate how I did that. It's just a lame accusation. And then he talks about empiricism. What I would like to know from you when you talk about all of these empirical endeavors and scientific conclusions, is there anything at all that is absolute and invariant that exists? Because without such, you couldn't talk about science. Is there anything that is absolute or invariant foundationally? Do you have an answer to that?
And he might want to stay on mute, but he can answer, and Darth, you've got 1 minute left.
And is anything absolute or invariant in your view as
go back to listening now because my break's over, but my advice is to, when you make these arguments, to not choose people that are so philosophically in depth as I am. might be easier to run these meetings.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to.
Right, yeah, you're too adept. Alright, I gotta go too.
So I don't know if this debate's going to happen today, Tom.
What?
These guys aren't
You think?
responding.
Hey, John. What do you, oh, come on, dude, bro. He's in a different time zone. He's ready to go.
Well,
I think.
Well, I don't know.
Sure you're not trying to prime the pump so you can bail.
May I speak?
John?
Okay, so first and foremost, I had asked about 15, 20 hours ago for a format opening, so I could prepare my opening. If it's a 5 minute, I want 15 minutes, right? But in any case, right? So this is what I'm doing now. I did some research also, and so I looked at Hume's argument, evidential problem, Rowe's argument, Mackey's argument, Oppie's argument. Now, so I've been looking into these arguments. Here's the problem. It seems to me they're arguing against the classical God of theism. And when I spoke with Venus several months ago, he agreed that the God of the Bible is not the classical God of theism. So if Billy's going to argue against the classical God of theism, he's not arguing against my God. Therefore, it would be a straw man. I posted that message to Jason and Billy. If he's going to argue against the Christian God or the classical God of theism, and he didn't.
He's arguing against the Christian God, bro.
What was that?
So isn't this the best part about a debate, John, is you get to make the affirmative at the beginning, and then he has to debate against that? If he's not debating what you're saying, then you win?
Actually, he would go first as the affirmative.
I'm curious, what the properties of the classical God of theism hold that the Christian God doesn't have? Because I'm not aware.
Yeah, the main point is what Rowe describes as the holy good God.
One was born in a manger. Is that it, John?
And so he would describe what a holy good God would do, right? And so that's very similar with omnibenevolence. He seems to have an idea of goodness according to Epicurus' omnipotence and so forth. And so what I would say is that is not the understanding of the Christian God. So if he goes with his opening and arguments against that, basically I would have to respond and say, you're not even arguing against it.
What was it? Sorry, I cut out.
Comes to a quibble about what is all good.
One was born in a manger. One was not.
So just how you think of additional properties.
So in other words, the expectations that he would have for this holy good God, quote unquote, right, would not be the expectations I certainly would not have. So I was looking over some of the premises by Rowe, and for example, he argues that there are instances of intense suffering which an omnipotent, omniscient being would have prevented without thereby losing some greater good or promoting some. So all of these things I would disagree with as far as the premise, but the point is that these premises might be reasonable for a particular type of God, but not for the God of the Bible or the God that I worship. That's my point. So I would like his response and his approach. So I suggest if you really want a good debate, right, a thorough one and a comprehensive one and a good not really. It doesn't have to be out a few more days.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll do it today.
Yeah, you're not even deciding this, Tom. You're not. You have like zero input in this.
Well, who is your suggestion spoken to in this case?
Well, what I'm telling you is what's going on, but then you're not one who is calling the shots. You're one who's listening to what I'm telling you.
Right. So, who's the suggestion to?
My suggestion is to Jason and Billy, and they have neither.
They're not even in the room.
In fact, to be at the day of the debate, to have not even a format so that I could prepare a 5 minute, a 10 minute, a 15-minute opening statement.
It was given to you yesterday. It was 3 minutes.
Oh,
and then
3 minutes is unacceptable. I already said that instantly. In fact,
Well, then
even
back
before that,
out with
even
little
before
bitch.
that,
We already know that you're trying to. I mean, just like you can skip
yeah,
off of
I
like
really don't
bullshit.
care
Just,
what you feel. You can say whatever you want. I personally,
yeah, I
especially if
can.
Jason's going to upload it into his YouTube channel, and so if it's going to be on YouTube, I certainly am not going to do it half-assed.
Yeah, just back out like a little bitch. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care what you think. I'm not backing out. I'm just suggesting to them that they could push it out 2 or 3 days, have a proper format, and have a proper discussion. I mean, it seems some people are very hasty, including yourself. I'm not anxious at all. Billy seems anxious for reasons I don't know.
Yeah, I am hasty for something that you've said that you've engaged in. Like,
yeah, I really don't care.
And smoked Billy every single time. So yeah, I really see what.
Literally, he's 0 for 4 dealing with me.
Right. So what's all the?
Why do you need 15 minutes?
But this is but Billy was way out of his league with the logical problem, right? This is a different argument. This is an evidential argument, a probabilistic argument, and so of which is a different approach. It's inductive, and so I would like, to properly represent the position. But a 3-minute opening? Are you kidding me? You're into the 1 minute 50-second type of openings, Tom, in a 10-minute opening. Ridiculous.
Are you saying?
I don't play.
So if they'd agreed yesterday to 15 minutes, you'd be ready to go today?
No, I gave you the main concerns, Sadie. The main concerns is I want to know if Billy is taking the approach of Hume or Rowe, or in a sense that he's arguing against. If he's going to begin an opening against the classical God of theism, I'm just going to simply say you're not arguing against my God. It's a straw man. That's a waste of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you were never ready today because had you got your way and got a 15-minute
I'm pretty
opening.
ready. I've done some research.
Ready to go? Really?
I'm somewhat ready. I have responses. I mean, these are like kind of like a Shamos type of on-the-fly type of deal. I think I could wing it, but that's not really the issue. The issue is the most important thing to me is what kind of God is he arguing? Is he arguing against the Christian God? Is he going to bring out what Bible passages to support his view that what he's representing is a Christian God? Or is he just going to take a different approach and argue against the classical God of theism? I would like to know that.
Just say you don't want to do the debate. I mean, like, can you spare us all the bullshit? I mean, like, come on.
So anyway, that's what I actually messaged them. They didn't respond yet, and so I'm just letting you guys know.
Bro, you understand he's in a completely different time zone, right?
In this debate.
You know he's in a different time zone, right?
Yeah, I really don't care about your opinions again.
You think him being in a different time zone is my opinion?
Well, I don't know about Jason. Is he also in New Zealand or something? Or Australia?
No, but Billy is. Jason has a life.
Well, I mean, he seems to have a life that includes scheduling on his YouTube channel a debate. And if he's moderator, to not even give us the structure, right? How long it will be, how it's broken down, cross-examination, all of that. Nothing is
tell you
specified.
that when you
I had to
you
pry
think
the
you just
resolution
rushed it,
out of you. I had to pry the resolution out of. I tried to get it out of you. You wouldn't even answer. Don't act like you're fucking like all about.
So in other words, I don't know.
Get the fuck out of here with that, dude.
John, haven't you debated and spoken to atheists and people like this for like 25 years?
Hang on. When you have a debate like Jake versus Dr. Khalil, that took 7 months in the making. When you have, I'm not trying to put myself in the.
For you, this should be easy, John. You will have them around your finger. You're like the dog's bollocks. Come on.
Right. And so when it comes to
John, come on, you have them over you'll have them over your knee. Why are you doing all this? You've got experience. Don't you have experience, John?
Cookie, you have a problem with properly having a debate?
I just think that you're going to win. I don't know why you're winning.
If you need all this time and you need all this prep time, and then don't go around making statements like any time in the future, Billy.
No, I don't
just
have
shut
a
your
problem
dumb
with
mouth
that
next
debate.
time.
Okay,
he's the one, you especially, I don't really care about your opinion. I'm just telling you, if Billy says what you're saying, well, I have some things to say to him, but your input is like zero value at this point. Now, you can snivel all you want, though. That's feel free. You're so triggered.
Right.
Yeah, truth cuts the deepest, John. I understand you're mad because I saw through you from the beginning, right? I understand. I get it.
You look like such a
John, as I'm looking forward, it looks like a pretty easy cakewalk for me. But in any
Oh, now here's the bravado after I say that. In a half hour, it's like, oh, he's not answering. I'm backing out. Oh, I don't want to do this.
I would take this as just John has backed out at this point. It really seems like he's not interested in continuing.
He's like 3/4 out the door, right? But try to
know.
pretend like he's
I mean,
fully
this
in the
debate's
door.
going to happen as long as Billy wants to do it.
I just don't see why he.
Oh, that's great to hear.
He's
Can't wait
got
to
so
hear
much experience. It's
great to hear.
I think you're great, John. You shouldn't be backing out.
So I guess is the sniveling session ended then, John?
I don't know. Have you stopped sniveling yet?
I haven't started.
Yeah, denial's not a river in Egypt.
Was John just sniveling about Tom sniveling? I'm getting lost in this.
No, I'm pointing it out.
He's getting really upset. He's getting really upset with me.
Yeah, keep grieving.
I think you're gonna do great, John.
Yeah, you're going to do great tonight, John. And remember, you said it's definitely happening, so good luck with your 3-minute opener, John. Fuckface.
No, 3 minutes is not sufficient. I know that much. I have a lot to prepare, actually.
You backing out?
I actually want
Are you
15
backing out?
minutes. I do want 15 minutes.
Are you backing out?
No, of course not. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not backing out of a
3-minute opener.
Wait, hang on. I'm not backing out of a debate. Certainly not. Am I agreeing to certain terms and conditions and formats of the debate? There are none really specified other than the time which is scheduled. Without any format, that's unacceptable to me as a participant.
Well, you know that
I was given to you yesterday.
that was discussed extensively. It's 3-minute opener, 10 minutes.
That didn't have my agreement, Haiti, whatsoever. In fact, I rejected it outright.
You sat there quietly and didn't say.
No, I texted them in real time in the back channel, and let me tell you what was written at the time when I spoke. They kept trying to talk on stage, and I said, no, if you want to talk about it, talk about it. And they says, okay, cool. This is Jason now. This room is scheduled and pinned on my profile. I also set up a live YouTube stream for it, and he gave me the link to his YouTube stream. This is all he put. This is it. When I said we need to talk about the format of the debate here, this is what I wrote. Are you kidding me? And this was posted about 15 to 20 hours ago.
So you should.
No response from either. And so whatever you guys were bouncing around certainly didn't involve me. You guys were going, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. You know what? That's so, yeah. Why don't you do this or why don't you do that? You certainly didn't have my input. In fact, I wasn't even listening to what was going on stage, but I did invite them to speak about it substantively in the chat, and they didn't do that in the back channel.
And he was asking you directly, so it's okay with you, right? And you just didn't bother to reply. You weren't even listening.
No, I did bother to reply, 80, that I would not discuss this on the stage. I said it 5 or 6 times.
He's freaking out.
Man,
Did you propose a format?
Sniveling overdrive right now.
Did you propose a format in the back channel?
I could, but I did want to discuss it. I'm not going to discuss it unless they actually respond. Neither of them responded, other than Jason responding by, I posted this link on my YouTube channel. That's all he put.
I mean, John, it should be pretty simple. If it's Jason, I'm assuming he's just going to go with the normal structure, unless you guys just want a more like a non-formal format, right? He's just going to have you guys.
Just 2 things I wanted. I mean, we could still do it in time by today.
because there's plenty of time today. But two things, if it's not ironed out, I'm not going to proceed, which is the breakdown of the format. 3 minutes opening is unacceptable to me. And then the other issue is, what exactly is Billy arguing against? If Billy's going to argue about someone else's God, some conceptual philosophy 101 God, well, that's not a God I worship.
What properties does that God have that yours doesn't?
The term holy good, as described by William Rowe, is not characteristic of my God.
Your God's all good, though, right? No?
Not in the way he expects or thinks.
I don't care. Is he all good under your view? I don't care about in the way he thinks.
It's very clear he's arguing against the classical God of theism.
I don't care. Is your God all good? Is your God... John?
Now, he could take the approach of, this is what I think is good.
Answer the question. Answer the question. Is your God all good?
Yes, of course. God is all good.
Oh, so it is. It does share the same properties as the other. Cool.
No,
So what's the property your God has that the other one doesn't?
That God doesn't love everyone, and it's good to do that, be that.
Oh, I misspoke. That was dumb of me. I misspoke. What God does a classical theist have? What property does he have that your God doesn't?
He's all loving, for example.
He's all loving doesn't have to do with classical theist.
It actually does, sir.
No, it doesn't. That's the Christian God. Now you're what?
The Christian God is not all loving. What are you even talking about?
That's the common conception.
You're speaking out of ignorance, sir.
That's not ignorant. John, the common conception. The common conception
God is not all loving. There are numerous passages where God is not all loving to his creatures, sir.
Is he not perfectly loving?
See, when you ask these questions...
He's not perfect.
May I even finish? No, I didn't say that he wasn't. I said he is. But just because I answer affirmatively does not give you what do you mean by perfectly loving? And that would be the better question for me. I do use that phrase, perfectly good, things like that, right? Is he perfectly loving? Yes, to those he loves. He's not perfectly loving to those he does not love, but he loves perfectly. So that would be my answer.
Right, but John, even if you grant that, you can still run the evidential problem of evil because natural evil happens to those he loves as well.
Right, and so as far as like the fawn that the road gives, suffering for days and the wilderness fire, something like that. I mean, I can easily respond to those, but as far as the Christian God is concerned, but the expectations, the premises themselves, right? I would certainly object to them, and I could certainly grill him in a sense of, do you actually think this is representative of my God or something like that? He would have to say no. Then you're arguing against a straw man. What argument do you have for my God?
John, your God allows natural evil against those he loves. So you could just narrow it down to that.
He does more than allow it, Eddie.
Why are you...
He decrees it.
Well, there you go then. There's your argument. Billy can debate you on that.
I mean,
the response there from you, John.
All I'm saying, Eddie, is if he's saying that, yes, I'm arguing against your God, that's all I need. And then all I need is a format, and then it's easy to that. All I'm saying is that he has not responded yet. If it's the case that Billy is arguing against the God of the Christian God, the God of the Bible, hopefully he'll bring out some verses to support his view that it is the God of the Bible he's talking about. But, I mean, he can do any approach that he wants. If he doesn't mention it, I'll just mention it in my rebuttal. You've provided nothing that this God you're talking about is the God of the Bible. In fact, let me tell you about the God of the Bible. Because of this verse and this verse.
Oh my goodness! Can you just give me 2 seconds? Can I just respond? 2 seconds, please.
I was talking.
I think people are excited right now.
Right, I'm just going to meet everyone in a minute. Billy will grant any conception you have of God, right? He will just grant it immediately.
How is he going to do that in his opening if he goes first?
This is have to figure out with him today, but what I'm
And that's
saying
what I'm
is...
saying. All I'm saying is that if when I inform him and he agrees, then he could probably prepare properly and argue against my God.
There's no
That's all I'm.
then why...
I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind having it today. I just think that without any a proper structure and proper understanding of the debate topic, it's going to just be problematic. That's what I'm saying.
Please, can I respond to this? Like, there's a simple solution to, like, this, because you're going to get bogged down in the meta. So why don't you come up with an informative definition in writing, pre-debate, right, that you will adhere to, right, that Billy can use, right? That's my first point, right? That's a very simple... I can do that. That's a very simple solution to that problem, right? My second issue was something you said before, John, which was very dishonest, right? Which was that if you agreed, like if you and Billy did agree to the definition, you would look into the premises of the argument to find out that, like, what he was talking about...
No, your conditional premise is false, sir. I did not say if we agreed to the definition. At no point did I provide that conditional premise, sir. So you misrepresent if you're saying that this is what I said.
So I don't see why you would bother looking into the argument.
Once again, you're not responding to your conditional premise that I did not say, sir.
Yeah, okay.
You represented that conditional premise as being dishonest and representative of my statement. It's false.
So if I misheard you, then what you were saying then was just, like, pointless, right? Because if you're already, like, not granting that you're going to agree on
first and foremost, you don't even know my point, and you're claiming pointlessness. If I misunderstood, then your statement was pointless. Are you serious, sir? If you misunderstood, you understand it's pointless. If you did understand, but you can't even steel man me. Can you even steel man what I said? How can you demonstrate pointlessness unless you can steel man me properly, sir?
Because what you said was, I'll look into the premises to find out he's not talking about my God.
And do you know what the conditional premise of my statement was?
Well, if it was already that you were granting that you agreed on definitions, then what you were saying was just dishonest, right? Because you're not going to find a dispute within definitions based on the premises of the argument, right?
What I did say
hang on, John, stop. 2 seconds.
Because you're not even addressing what I said.
Because the
other one, let you know what I said, so that you can respond to what I said. You don't even know what I said, sir.
Because the other interpretation, John, is that you were already disagreeing on definitions, in which case I don't know why you would bother looking into the argument to begin with. So, what the hell?
That's why he's having this, like, talk.
Yeah, it's not a matter of definitions, it's a matter of which God are you arguing against. You're certainly not arguing against my God. If you're going to argue, just imagine if I, as a Christian, am defending the God of the Bible in the sense of faith in this God, in the probability of this God, in the reasonable inductive process for this God, and yet he wants to argue against Zeus. That's how ridiculous that is to me. And you want to say, oh, definition, it's about semantics? No, it's not about semantics, sir.
I mean, like, if you're just going to define
if he's prepared, all I need to know is if he's prepared,
the conclusion.
If he's prepared to argue against the Christian God, hey, let's go. Let's do this. That's what I'm saying. But if he's not, please don't waste my time, Billy.
You are so arrogant to call it the Christian God. You're not the gatekeeper of what Christian God is. He's your God. He's the Calvinist God. He's John Lee's God.
What is, I'd like to hear, because I just got here, I would like to hear Tom explain to me how this is just a means for John Lee to dodge having a debate. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, he's trying to pretend.
I don't agree with
this. 3-minute openings are not acceptable. And he was trying to appeal to, like, oh, I've messaged them. They haven't gotten back to me. Oh, I don't know if it's going to... He opens with, Tom, I don't know if it's going to happen tonight. And then when I called him out for being a pussy, he's like, oh, no, I'm ready to go. It's like he's just like... it's like in his head, he doesn't even know what he like wants or is trying to represent. So to summarize, I would say it's primarily sniveling, false bravado, and just bullshitting about and trying to like put into place reasons for him to not have the debate tonight.
So, I mean, irrespective of the nonsense, I don't know why you're not asking me, Jack. I'll tell you.
No, you want the real answer.
So the day of the debate, Jack, it is the case that that I've not been provided a structure. These people have been floating around. Oh, we've decided it's going to be a 3-minute opener. I actually prefer a 15-minute opener. But the point is, irrespective of whether I prefer 15 or Billy prefers 3-minute opening, and what goes beyond that, I have no clue. None has been provided by the moderator of any type of structure the day of the debate, Jack. And so I'm trying to I did some research, and I'm trying to prepare an opening for the right amount of minutes that I'm given. I don't even know that, right? And so all I'm saying, Jack, is it's not really reasonable to, in haste, schedule a debate for today without any of these things ironed out.
Yeah, but you understand that Tom has floated an alternative hypothesis before you even started raising those considerations.
Yeah, I really don't care. It's not like I'm back. I do want this debate, just to let you know, Jack. And I don't even mind doing it today. But I would like to know. I messaged them nearly 20 hours ago, Jack. They have not responded. Neither have responded in text. Jason did respond, but he didn't respond to my query. He only notified me that he posted the link to his channel, YouTube channel. That's all he did. That's ridiculous. I actually am asking questions, and I'm not getting the responses. Hopefully I'll get the responses in the next few minutes.
John, why?
Whatever.
Why
so I can prepare.
were you
because right now I'm trying to prepare an opening.
During the actual conversation, when it all was taking place, why did you say that you just chose to ignore it when it was actually taking place?
Oh, yeah, I was not going to negotiate on stage. I made that very clear at least 5 or 6 times. 2 different days.
Like if it was a tumultuous situation.
Like I said, I gave you an answer, Cookie. You can like it or lump it.
No. Why are you being so rude? Am I being rude towards you?
I gave you an answer. Are you?
Can you answer my question?
No. Did you Could you steel man my answer to let me know that you heard my answer?
I heard you. I'm trying to understand.
Could you tell me what I said?
Yeah, you didn't answer my question.
Yes,
which is why.
Okay. I actually did answer your question, but I can tell you were anxious to ask another question in the process of answering you.
You saw how triggered he was when he was talking to Alex.
Because the comment that you made involved discussion on stage, right, Cookie? My point is that I was very clear on 2 different nights that I would not discuss it, the terms of the format of the debate, the topic. I told Billy to message me. He did not message me.
To speak about it during that thing.
Cookie, you're interrupting me, man.
And the question was,
man, you're interrupting me. For 2 nights, I told Billy to message me regarding the debate. He seems to want to talk to you guys about it without my involvement. And you guys are bouncing out. He did not respond to my messages, both in the 3-way and the 2-way between Billy and I initially from the night before. And you can try to blame it on time zone or whatever, but the last message is about 20 hours. The previous 2-way message has been about 36 hours. So, I mean, time zone, Tom, really?
Well, it's currently 4 a.m., right? So expect Billy to be up in about...
Hopefully, Paddy. I mean, listen, like, I don't think I need that much preparation for this particular debate. But what I do want to know, this is important to me, I would definitely like to know how many minutes of an opening we're going to have and what the format is. Right?
Yeah.
And the second part is, it's only 2 concerns. Are you going to argue against the classical God of theism or the God of the Bible?
I think the question on...
And if he says the God of the Bible, let's go.
That's great. Okay. And like, listen, like, if I say to you, why did you do this? And your answer is because I did it, right? You understand that's not an answer, right?
Right.
The question is, what we're confused about is, you had the opportunity to hammer out a structure, like.
No, he had the opportunity.
No, you interrupted me. No, you did too, because you were there, right? And the question we don't understand is, why is this something in your view that has to be conducted in secret? That's what we don't understand.
Wait a minute, I was there.
I hadn't finished. Yes, you were there.
I was there to tell you guys that I'm not going to discuss it in public.
Right, and we're asking, okay, so here's my question.
Did you hear me say that more than one occasion?
Yeah, we've heard you say that. We've heard that.
You say that. And remember when I said, just repeating that you decided this is not an answer as to why. What we're confused about is, why do you think hammering out, discussing a debate structure is something that has to happen in private?
Not only so, Haiti, what I'd also said was that if you persist...
Is he just going to do this?
Haiti, what I did say is if you persist in trying to discuss it on stage, I'm just going to back out of the debate. I also told him that.
Did you hear what my question was?
I don't really care what you think about backing out as well.
Did you hear what my question was?
I really don't care.
But did you hear my question?
Now wait,
did you hear my question?
Is Tom? Are you laying a wager that he's going to back out? Or like what?
Yeah, I would say that.
80% chance. I just know he's trying to, right? I don't know exactly what will.
It's
yeah,
like
I mean, you can pretend that all you want.
Like
right, exactly.
Because like if you were to make a wager, then
then he would lose.
Well, it's kind of like it's in virtue of the wager that you'd be compelled to do it, you know.
Right. Yeah, let's just make up some more nonsense.
Yeah, are you going to answer my question, Tom? John. Sorry. John, are you going to answer my question?
Could you ask it again, Haiti?
Okay, this will be the third time, and also BB asked it, so altogether this is the fourth time, right? So I'd appreciate if this time you listen, right? Why is it that you felt like discussing the format of the debate, or the structure of the debate, was something that should occur in private?
Well, first and foremost, I didn't like the things that were being commented on. Several atheists, mentioning all sorts of things about
I thought you didn't care about what I said, though. You don't
motives and so forth. So that, may I answer, Haiti? So that was the reason, Haiti. Also, if the back channel actually provides an actual text of a record of discussions as well.
Yeah, but you could have just confirmed in the back channel. I mean,
was that enough sufficient answer for you, Haiti?
Yeah, totally insufficient. You could have said, okay, I want to do 50 minutes, and if you don't allow me, I'm just not going to debate. And I'm sure they would have been immediately like, fine, do 15 minutes, right? But you didn't. You stayed silent.
I literally told them that night. I was on stage. No, hang on. I was on stage. And I don't really care about you guys trying to accuse me of trying to back out, quote unquote, right? Like ad nauseum. I really don't care. It doesn't move me. But what I will say, may I finish though? What I will say is that I was very clear. I was very clear that night to tell Billy, listen, dude, you want to talk about or you came on stage here to challenge me to a debate. Well, then, if you want to have a debate, I'm up for it. I was up for it before. I still am up for it. We've already debated before on the logical problem. That's more my wheelhouse, to be honest with you. But as far as the evidential problem, he had mentioned things like Stephen Law and Pandora's Box before when he was trying to negotiate a debate. And I had not even heard of Pandora's Box. I kind of know a little bit more now. And the evil god challenge or something that he was talking about. Whether that even relates to the evidential problem, I still don't really even know. But to me, reading up on Hume and Rowe, I said, yeah, I could definitely, I could go for it right now. But the issue is, I really want to know if he's going to argue against the Christian God, the God of the Bible, and I would like to know the structure. Those things are not that difficult to iron out just in the next several minutes or few hours.
The issue is, you said it needs to be done in private so that you have a record of it, but the replays are on, right? So that would be a record of any items discussed. So I don't know why it needs to be in back.
Yeah, I'm not interested in your records. I'm interested in my written records.
Well, look, the thing is, the other thing is you hammer it out, and then you send. And then
No, I don't. Listen, I don't have access to any types of records or things like that as far as audio.
No, look, you.
For example, like whenever Billy's on the stage, I don't even have access to rooms.
Yeah. Okay, so you hammer it out in voice, and then you say, "This is what we agreed." Right? That's how most people would do it. It just seems to me that
that's ridiculous to say that's how most people would do it, 80. I don't agree with that.
I mean, how obviously.
I know a lot of the emails I know a lot of debaters, and most of the things that are ironed out is in text, Haiti, emails and so forth.
Probably because they're not together on a.
Are you talking on here? Is that more efficient or less efficient than you typing on?
So I gave you the reason, right? And you want to argue with my reason?
Yeah, because there is.
These are my terms. Whether you think they're reasonable or not is irrelevant to me.
Well, I'm just saying that if your reason is that you want to have a record of it, there is a record.
So, like I said, you can accept my reasons or be dissatisfied with them and snivel about them. Feel free, but you don't need to involve me.
It sounds like you're trying to back out. That you're
why would I care what sounds to you? Why would I care what sounds to you?
Because you're embarrassed?
Yeah.
Embarrassed? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And you want us to think that you're like...
Do you think I have any shame to my game, so to speak?
Yes.
Well, then there you go.
I think it's...
When it comes to debating, yeah.
Pretty much everyone.
Not when it comes to looking at your own butthole and telling us, no. But debating.
Yeah. And did a great job.
In any case, I'm definitely looking forward to this interaction. Whether it happens formally or informally, doesn't matter to me.
80%.
I've interacted with Billy before, and I feel very confident in engaging with him. I have 4 times.
You didn't even know what the evidential problem was yesterday. You didn't even know.
That's also false. So there's been accusations with regard to Doc Dawkins and so forth. But in any case.
You got this. It's in the bag.
Because you know, I was very clear to talk about being suggestive of the God not existing, and which is not different from inductive or probabilistic.
It's gonna do great.
It's not going to happen, Cookie.
Oh,
well, I'm so glad you're so pessimistic. Where's Jason?
John, he did end up calling that Bella Honey.
I know, I just noticed Jason's here, that's why.
If he put this much energy into the actual debate that he did, like trying to convince us that he wasn't trying to back out, yeah, he might kick some.
I would just like to state for the record that I feel that John will have his way with Billy.
Yeah, okay.
You're Jason, old man.
Yeah, I'm here.
Were you in receipt of some messages from John Lee? Yesterday?
Yeah, I am, and I just responded to them.
He was upset you didn't respond.
Yeah, naughty boy, Jason.
Let's see how. Let me just see something here. He messaged me today at 7:42 a.m. I responded.
Did he message you yesterday?
20 hours. Oh, 20 hours, John Lee. Are you lying?
Jason, I responded to you 7:42 a.m. But yesterday, 11:42 a.m. That's approximately 20 hours ago. I said we can talk about the format of the debate here. Yeah. You did not talk about the format of the debate until just about 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Well,
right? 20 hours later, sir.
Wait a minute.
So don't pretend that I just messaged you just a few minutes ago.
But wait a second. Okay, let me just clarify. First of all, when we had the conversation in the room, we actually talked about the debate format.
No, we did not. No, we did not. You may have.
No, it was 3-minute openers.
Correct.
What was it? Yeah, 20-minute cross-exam or something.
Like 10 minutes each, and then.
Hey, Jason, are you aware that I said at least 5 or 6 times in the last 48 hours that I would not discuss it on stage? And if you persist, Billy, and trying to discuss it on stage, I'll just back out of the debate. This is what I said. Are you aware that I said that?
Yeah, Jack.
Oh, he's going to back out? You're going to back out, John?
John, it seems like you're just being kind of petty about this. I mean, first of all, it did get generally.
Betting now, he said that he wanted a debate, a certain time and a certain day, and that was it. As if we even had a conversation on it.
Yeah, you
he might have had a conversation with other people.
You said
right?
anytime.
You're missing the point.
No, I'm not. When you say anytime, you'll do it anytime.
John, if somebody tells me, if I tell somebody, John, anytime, I'll do it anytime. I just expect them to give me a day. I don't expect them to ask me on a day.
John, you were in the room and we were having all these discussions about it's going to be 8 p.m. Pacific time.
There you go within the room again. No, I didn't hear any of that, to be honest with you. I was in the room, but I just told you I didn't hear anything.
You were like, what time is that for me and stuff? You were part of that.
Jason, other than saying that I would prefer 15 minutes, and that because that was the first statement, and then after I said I would prefer openings to be about 15 minutes, and then I said I started a text. I went to playing poker.
15 minutes,
and I was still in the room, but I didn't really listen, to be honest.
15 minutes.
God.
15 minutes. Were you there? Were you there when you heard me say that?
I was there when you said that you said like 10, 15-minute openings, and immediately everybody was like, "Oh, that's way too long." And I think James suggested like 3 to 5 minutes. Like, and we were, and we had.
Oh, and then there was another point about like beginning with questions and then do the opening later, and then which I responded.
That's right.
Later. No one said.
So you were responding.
They said do the open conversation.
And then that was about it. That was about it. Then after that, I created a three-way discussion and said, I'm in the three-way. I'm not going to be discussing anything further on stage. You guys obviously continued to do that and ignored the thread.
Jason, can you read out John's
because Billy was present when I informed him that I just started a three.
Look, John, I don't
Jason,
think
can you read out for the court, please? Can you read out John's message in a three-way?
But I'm going to ask John, are you going to be okay with me doing that?
Yeah, of course. Please read from the beginning, though, because there's not much.
All right,
and the time is also important as well.
All right, okay. So you messaged me yesterday at 11:42 a.m.
Three-way.
Yeah, this is the three-way. Yeah, between me, Billy, and John. John started the three-way and said, we can talk about the format of the debate here. And I responded immediately, like 2 minutes afterwards. I said, okay, cool. And then I sent another text right after that, and it says, the room is scheduled and pinned on my profile. I also set up a live YouTube stream for it, and I put the YouTube link.
Right.
Okay, so
is there any more after that?
Oh, so he messaged me again today at 7:42 a.m., and John says, I feel woefully unprepared today. Not only so, I haven't received any format for the debate. I was wondering if Billy was interested in rescheduling this later this week. And then he had another text that says, Billy, so I began doing some research and landed on Hume and Rowe. Rowe especially wants to argue against a, quote, holy good God, which appears to be the classical God of theism. I spoke with Venus many months ago, and he agreed with me that the God of the Bible is not the God of classical theism. Therefore, if you are not arguing against my God, you would be only arguing against a straw man. Please tell me if you are going to argue against a Christian God. And then I responded this morning like an hour and a half after that. And I said, I think the format is 3-minute openings, then 10 to 15-minute cross-examination, then 20 to 30-minute open discussion, then 5-minute closings. Then if you guys want questions from the audience, affirmative position should go first. The affirmative gets the final word on the closings. On cross-examination, the examiner owns the time. However, the person answering the question should be allowed to answer a question posed, no filibustering. And then, okay, that's it, yeah.
Now, the message where John said about he looked into Hume when he talked to Venus, what was the timestamp of that message?
Yeah, wait a minute, Jason. That was not it.
Well, okay, you just responded like right now in this text and said, I explained yesterday that I want 10 to 15 minute openings. And then
It was only a few minutes after that last post, by the way. How long ago did you post the format?
Well, I mean,
15 minutes ago? 15 minutes ago?
Probably like at 8:45, something like that. So it was like an hour and a half after your 7:42 a.m.
Which was only 15 minutes ago?
It was before I came on this call. Before I knew Haiti said...
Which was about 15 minutes ago?
Okay, so I don't know if it was exactly 15 minutes. It was a little bit longer than that.
And then I responded to your message about 15 minutes ago, correct?
That's right. When you said, I explained yesterday...
But then you said, but you didn't read it, and you said, well, that was only 2 minutes ago, is what you heard.
I'm not reading like this. Okay, after this thing came up, like where I'm in this chat, and we're having this conversation right now about where you're saying, oh, Jason, you didn't respond to me, blah, 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 blah.
Yes, you didn't read everything, but you didn't. This is correct.
Christ. I didn't read the last 2 minutes or the last few responses.
Yeah, because we're talking
they're not really
about
relevant
now,
to this.
right? We're talking about past messages.
Because when you
John, hold on. I asked Jason. Hold on, John. I asked Jason to come into the room 30 minutes ago, right? And it sounds like Jason wrote that longer thing about the format longer than 30 minutes ago, right?
No.
He wrote that thing about the format as he was talking.
After your message, I'm sure, to him.